Well, hello everyone. My name is Yashasvi Avasti, and in this video, we are going to talk about monitoring in vRealize automation. So let's get started. So this is the scope of context. We will be discussing each of the subtopics that is available in the scope of context to know what really monitoring means in vRealize automation. Now, this module covers basic understanding of monitoring in VRA. Just one who is attending the video shall be well acquainted with brief knowledge of VRA and its user interface portal, deployment architecture and components of VRA, type of agents in VRA and their associations, understanding of multiple tabs present in VRA, and different user roles and their entitled actions in VRA. And if that's so, then my friend, you are good to go. So the first topic in our context is monitoring. Now, in simpler words, monitoring means keeping an eye on something or to observe. Now, since you have got an idea of what monitoring means in general, let's discuss what's monitoring in VRA. Monitoring means in VRA to keep track of complete architecture of VRA, that is all IaaS components, services, endpoint resources, trigger events. Since in VRA, there may be minimal or distributed deployment depending on the resources and depending on our choice. Hence, monitoring also keep track of the operational capabilities of different VRA hosts. Now, it's not like every person can monitor all the things said before. So here, our back, that's role-based access control policy of VRA plays a very important role. Hence, depending on the type of role, user is entitled within VRA, one can monitor workflows or services, view events, or audit logs, or collect logs for all the hosts in a distributed deployment. Yeah, we got what is monitoring, but how and what to monitor. So for better understanding for you all, I've divided monitoring into 4 subfields. We'll be discussing each one of these in detail. They are monitoring workflows and viewing logs, monitoring vRA services, vRealize automation audit logging, and viewing host information for cluster in case of distributed deployment. So the first among them is monitoring workflows and viewing logs. So as I told before, depending on your role, one can monitor workflows and view activity logs. Below is the table shown for reference, which gives detail of what needs to be monitored and the role it is entitled with, along with its path sequence in vRA so as to where to see it in vRA. Now let's take a quick look on each of them on vRA portal. Okay, so we are on the vRA portal and logged in as a configuration admin. Now, since you can see, we are not able to see all the tabs on the portal due to the fact that the configuration admin is assigned as the role of tnet admin as well as the IS admin. So only limited roles are visible to it. To see further roles and to view further features of different role that is assigned inside vRA, let's go to administration. Under user and groups, go to directory user and groups. Enter the name of the user, for which in this case is configuration admin. Select the name of the user. Now these are the roles that we can give to the user. For this example, I am giving all of the roles to this configuration admin. Okay, let's go to finish. Now after clicking finish, we can see that a warning popped up that the permission have been changed. So we have to log out and re-log in into the portal to see the change in the portal and to see all the features that are applied to the user. Okay, so we can see the design tab as well as the container tab came along with the roles. Now, to give complete functionality to this user and to make the user portal display all the tabs present in vRA, Let's go to Administration tab. Under User and Groups, go to Business Groups. And now we'll give the Business Manager role to the present user, that is Configuration Admin. We'll go to the Members. Now we'll assign the Configuration Admin as a Group Manager role. Okay, so let's click on Finish. So now let's click on Refresh, and we can see all the tabs are present on our self-service portal. Now to discuss our topic, let's go to Infrastructure tab, go to Monitoring tab, and here the first one is Audit Log. Now Audit Log provides detail about the managed status of virtual machines and activities performed on these machines during reconfiguration. The log includes information about machine provisioning, NSX, reclamation, and reconfigure actions. It displays information about actions that have occurred, such as action type, date and time of the action, and so on. Only the IaaS administrator has a role to see the audit logs. The next one is DEM status. Now DEM status displays workflow status and optionally opens a specific workflow to display its details. From screen, we can see that the total workflows that are being run is 0, or the executed workflows are 0, or the pending workflows are 0. So right now no workflow is running. Also we can see the status of scheduled and available distributed execution manager and other workflows. So on the screen we can see the name DEM is assigned as a role of worker, which is executing 0 workflows, that is, it's idle but it's online. Similarly, the is018.corp.local DEO is online and active and is assigned the role as the orchestrator. And the tasks that both of these have performed are given below in the workflow history. The next tab is Log. Now, Log displays the default log information or control data content using column and filter options. It is used to view and optionally export the log data. Now here we can see the severity level of how the source has interacted with the machine and what message have occurred. It gives us the source name, it gives us the timestamp, it gives us the severity level as well as the message occurred when the source tried to trigger a command over the machine. So we can see all the logs that have been triggered through any service or through any agent of vRA over any machine in the complete deployment of vRA. And the last tab is Workflow History. Now the workflow history displays the history of the workflow as well as optionally open a specific workflow to display its execution details. We can view the status and history of executed distributed execution managers, that is DEMs, and other workflows as well. In this, we can see various workflows that have been ran and by which DEM it ran. Like in our environment, we are having only one DEM worker, so it's showing the name only of the one DEM worker that is there in our environment and what's the status of that workflow, whether the work succeeded or not. So here the result details. So with the help of these tabs, we can monitor various things in vRealize. Now, other than this, let's go to Request tab. Now, the Request tab displays the status of requests that have been responsible for or we own. Whenever we try to request a machine from the catalog items, then our request is made available here, and then we can track our request, or we can see whether a request has been failed or been succeeded. We can monitor the status of a request and also view request details. So the next is monitoring vRealize services. With the ease of user interactive portal provided by vRealize, one can monitor different services in an event of malfunctioning or failure of processes. Here, basically I've divided the services into two classes, the management services and the configuration services. And it's not a nomenclature, it's just for understanding. The services that can be found on WAMI portal under Services tab, I call it as management services. Those services can be deregistered from vRealize if not in use, but be cautious as it may affect the normal functioning of vRealize. Now the second class of services I say are the configuration services. These services are present when we look up services through putty session. Okay, so each service holds some meaning and critical functionalities. The subsets of services are required to run individual product components. For example, the identity service and the UI core service must be running before you can configure a tenant. So some of the important services I've listed in the table shown. So what happens is the services group themselves into powering a particular component on vRealize. Like for example, the event log service as well as the authentication service, authorization service, and the licensing service collectively power up the identity service group. Then comes the portal service and the catalog service, along with the shell UI service power up the UI core services. Then the catalog service as well as the notification service or the approval service power up the service catalog group or the governance services. Next is IaaS proxy provider or the IaaS server power up the IaaS services group. The last are the VCO server or the VCO configurator with the advanced service designer service power up the XaaS or the vRealize orchestrator service and the resource action services. All the services that are provided to us on vRealize portal are being governed by a collection of one or more services. Hence, if any of the feature on vRealize portal fails, so we need to keep a check on these services. So let's take a quick look so that where these services can be found and how to see them. Okay, so coming upon the vRealize jump server, let's go to the putty session first. Okay, so I'm entering the URL here. From this URL can be accessed. We'll open. Here we need to write the login detail as root. Sometimes if the certificate is not trusted, then we need to add password as well. In this, since we have a public key, so it are authenticated from the public key itself. Now, since we have opened into the putty session, let's check for the services. chk config command. Here we can see different types of services in vRealize, which I call as the configuration services. These are present over putty. So here are the configuration services, and with respect to the management service I was talking about, let's go to the WAMI session. Enter the credentials as root and password. Okay, go to the service tab and we can see the list of services There are 39 of them. They should be registered for complete functioning of all the features in vRealize. So here we can see the list of services which are different from that which we can see on the putty session. We can deregister them from here and we can refresh them to see the status. So next is vRealize Automation Audit Logging. vRealize Automation offers audit logging to support collection and retention of important system events. By default, vRealize Automation supports audit logging for workflow subscription, endpoint, and fabric point create, update, and delete events. It also supports audit logging customization for a variety of IaaS events as well. Audit log information appear on the standard event logs page under administration event logs on vRealize portal. So let's get on the portal. So on the vRealize portal, let's go to administration. Let's go to events. Under events, we see the event logs. Now the events are identified in the event log table with the designation audit in the event type. Each entry shows an event description for each event as well as tenant, time, user, and related service name, as you can see here. It shows the target ID, the target type, and the tenant under which the events are being generated. So the last among the category of monitoring is viewing host information for clusters. One can view and collect logs for each host or all the hosts that are clustered in the environment from vRealize Automation Appliance Management Console. This can be viewed on the Cluster tab of vRealize Console. So let's take a sneak peek of the vRealize Console of vRealize Automation. So we are on the Jump server. Let's quickly go to the vRealize portal. Enter in the credentials of root. Okay, so we are inside the vRealize portal. Now for the host settings, let's go to the cluster tab under vRealize settings. Now in the cluster tab, we can see the list of all nodes in the deployment as well as host name for each node. And also the last ping time of the host with management console, which is for vRealize is maximum time is of 9 minutes and for IaaS the maximum time is of 3 minutes. Also from here we can create log support bundle which can be downloaded as well from here, which gives consolidated logs of all the hosts in the deployment. It can be downloaded in the form of zip file which can be used as support bundle to review in case of troubleshooting. Usually VMware asks for log bundle to get uploaded before discussing over the issue if in case any ticket is open at myvmware.com for support over tool such as vRealize. So the last topic in monitoring is health monitor in vRealize. One of the great features is vRealize Health Service, which accesses the functional health of vRealize automation environment. IaaS administrator configure the health service to run test suites that determine if the components or anything in the environment are registered and the necessary resources are available. Tenant administrators with a health consumer role can view test results for the tenancy but cannot configure or run a test. There are different types of tests that provide by Health Monitor, which are system test for vRealize, tenant test for vRealize, and test for VRO. So let's jump onto the portal and see what these tests look like and what they do. Okay, so let's go to the administration tab. Under administration, let's go to health. Now, there are 3 suites provided by the health service. The first one is the system test, the second one is the tenant test, and the third one is the test for VRO, as we can see. Now, each test has its own functionality and feature of what it portrays. So, the system test for vRealize automation, we can set it up by using the new configuration. Under new configuration, we have to enter the name for the test, we have to enter the description for the test, we have to select the product, for which product are we going to test it for, and we have to set the schedule, whether at what time we need to schedule it. like in this one which we already have. Let's click on edit, go to next. We have seen, like, select the test suite. So whether it's the system test or whether it's the TNN test within the VRA, we selected the systems test for once and the TNN test for the other one. Let's go to the configuration parameter. In this, it asks for the public server IP address, for the SSH console address, for the root and the password. You have to enter it manually, and then it will summarize the details that we have given, and then we can click on finish to create a health card for that. Now the system test provides us information and validates the SSO or identity connection test, whether our license is expired or not, whether the root password is expiring or not soon, and also like licenses are registered and necessary resources such as memory or the storage is available with the virtual appliance or not. So like we have ran the test once, you can see it, what the result it gave. So what I spoke the test gives is mentioned here: the identity, the memory, the license, the validation of the host name, and many more things. So this was all about system test for VRA. Now let's go for the VRO test, system test. Same as that of VRA system test, VRO system test provides information about the active VRO nodes, whether in case of distributed deployment. Also, it checks the utilization of the Java heap memory in the VRO nodes. Now, the Java heap memory, in a nutshell, I can say, is the memory required for VRO to run the workflows or the critical functionality of the VRO. And it also checks the status of the VRO server service in the VRO nodes. Now, VRO server service is very necessary for VRO to run or for any workflow to trigger. If VRO server service will be down, then will not be able to trigger any functionality over VRO. The last test among them is the local TNN test. So we have vSphere.local as the TNN. So we have completed the test, and let's see the details what it gives. So the TNN test for vRealize automation checks first the vSphere reservation storage paths, then it checks the reservation policy, reservation assignments, then it checks the portal service status, and also it determines if TNN related components such as software service are registered and necessary resources such as vSphere virtual machines are available on the virtual appliance. So these are the test cards that health service vRealize automation provides us with, and they are really good to monitor and to determine any functionality issues or any issues that may occur during the operations in vRealize automation. So this was all about monitoring in vRealize automation. My name is Yashasvi Avasti and I'm part of Trias Autonomics HCL, and I would like to say thank you.